Welcome back to the Shred the Spread podcast. This is our second week of the playoffs. We have made it to the divisional round. We have four awesome games that we're going to get into. The hometown heroes made it through, the Eagles and the Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
We will get into a little bit of that. We have some big games this week, but before we do that, let me bring on my co-host, my right-hand man, my dude. Moving on to the next round. Now, what's going on, Tampa Bay Buccaneer killer?
Yeah, what's going on, my guy? We had to smack them again, to get our next playoff win. It's been 20 years, but hey, man, I'll take it now. The Commanders did put their nuts on the table. I did as well. The only difference is my nuts got dragged across the fucking table, and they actually were able to proceed. So I'm glad that we're still going. I'm glad that we're actually going up against the Lions. It's gonna be a nice big matchup. I actually think we're actually in for a great game as far as I'm concerned. But hey, man, we'll get into that as we go on.
Yeah, you guys rewrote history on the doink. The Bears
Yeah.
were the doinks, and they doinked out, and you guys doinked in. So Gonzalez came through off the post, had to do it with some finesse, but that was, I think, Jaden Daniels' sixth game where he
Yeah.
won on the
Yes.
last play of the game.
Yeah, and it's been I think in 4 of the last 5 we won the last play of the
That
game. Yeah.
that just
Last
goes
5
to
games.
show you, man, that
Yeah.
the Commanders are always in it, and if you get them a chance, that's what I'm saying. You let teams hang around, the
Mhm.
hungry dog runs faster.
Yes, sir.
So we got 4 games to get into, Dino. Let's not dilly-dally anymore. Let's get right into it.
Let's go.
We have 2 Saturday games, 2 Sunday games. Saturday, the lead-off batter, we've got the Houston Texans traveling to Arrowhead, where they will be playing at 4:30 Eastern Time. The Chiefs on FanDuel are 8.5-point favorites. The total for this game is 41.5. There was some injury concern with Joe Mixon, but as we expected, he is expected to play. So we've got their heavy hitter in the backfield, Nico Collins. After getting a touchdown last week, he's good to go. Just missing Diggs and Tank Dell. We saw the Texans defense step up a lot last week.
Yeah. Mhm.
My question to you is, how do you see this game playing out?
I actually see this game what's funny about it is the over under is right at 41 and a half. That's literally one I kind of had it at. If it was at 42 and a half, I would have probably bet the under. So just kind of be wary about that. It's going to be a low scoring game.
I
I
agree.
personally don't see the Texans scoring past 17 points, to be honest with you. You're talking about a Kansas City defense that completely just turns up every postseason. Steve Spagnuolo is the playoff defensive guru at this point. There's no stopping him. And as long as Patrick Mahomes and that offense, like they've done all year, be able to do just enough to win the game, especially against the Texans, a Texas team who struggled along the run, it's definitely going to be a Chiefs money line. Of course, I mean, who am I? Who's not going to bet Chiefs money line? And honestly, I would bet under on the Joe Mixon yards. I mean, I get it; he is playing well, he's coming back. But once again, that Chiefs defense all year, especially against the run, have been very, very strong, and I don't expect nothing less, especially in the postseason.
Yeah, I agree with Donnell. I think this is going to be a Chiefs possession heavy game. They're going to run the ball down the Texans' throat. They're going to manage the clock. And I like Dino, expect the Chiefs to win. They're actually the first leg of my 3-team teaser for this weekend. So they will be the first leg at -2.5 for the first leg of the teaser. But I think my favorite play from this game is actually just going off history, the second half under. You can get the
Mm-hmm.
second half under 20.5 points. So, I don't expect the Chiefs to just come out right out the gate, guns blazing and run away with this game. We know kind of how they operate. They come out the first drive, try to get points, and then they really play methodical. They play, time of possession up until halftime. Then they make their adjustments, and we know the Chiefs are the best second half adjustment team in the league on defense. So I expect the Chiefs to kind of bunker down, not let up touchdowns, make the Texans settle for 3. Even if this game stays close, I really think the Chiefs are going to stick to their guns and force the Texans everything underneath and dink and dunk. So second half under 20.5 points. And I'm with Donnell here. If we can catch a live total 42 is where I'd
Mm-hmm.
play the under. So
Right.
let me see. Is there a book that has 42 right now? There is no. They're all sitting at all the main books are sitting at 41 and a half. But this is definitely if one of these teams go out early and scores a touchdown the first drive, love the live under. So I'm with you there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, pay attention to this game because if you can get, especially if you can pay a little bit of juice and get the second half under 21 or better, I love that. So my favorite play in the game is the second half under. I like Dino, expect the Chiefs to win, and they are the first leg of my teaser. So the first leg of the teaser, Chiefs minus 2.5. With I know we like the unders. Were there any props you were looking at? Anything you
Yeah.
liked?
Yeah, I think I don't know if I said it earlier, but Joe Mixon under in the rushing yards. I
Joe
think it's at
Mixon under.
74. Yeah, I think it's like 74 and a half right now, I believe. And like I said, him just coming back, like I said, he got cleared, he's ready to go. But like I said, against a top defense right now, I mean, one of the top defensive coordinators in the league as far in the playoffs with Steve Spagnuolo and that Chiefs defense, trust me, that's going to be a very, very key identifier there is stopping the run. And honestly, they're going to have to do more than just get Joe Mixon in the running game. They're going to have to get him going in the passing game.
Yeah. Okay. There's two props I like, one on each side. Number one is Dalton Schultz receptions. The Chiefs
Yep.
are fourth to last receptions against their defense. That's mainly because these teams are generally trailing, and if that's the case, if they're shutting down Joe Mixon, they're the hottest read is going to be down the middle to Schultz, and I'd play him up to 5 receptions. A lot of it's juicy at 3.5, so I'd play the alt 4.5. As Dino, I expect the Chiefs to be winning this game, and I think the Texans are going to have to throw a little bit more than they anticipate, so I like him. And the other one, I'm just going to have to keep going to the well. Xavier Worthy touchdown. We
Hmm.
see this team just get so creative with him in the red zone. He's become such a focal piece in this offense. And, you're paying. I mean, you kind of see Travis Kelce's touchdown price keeps, going up and up and up. Well, that's because he really hasn't been the focal point. He's been more of a decoy in the red zone. So I like Xavier Worthy. He's been getting. Besides the running backs, he is actually the number one target in the red zone over the last 6 weeks. So he has really come to fruition with this offense, and Patrick Mahomes trusts him. And if he trusts you, that means you're gonna get looks when it comes time to score points. So Xavier Worthy plus 200 to score a touchdown. That just doesn't make sense to me. So I'll take a shot on Xavier Worthy, and then Dalton Schultz over receptions.
You know what? Hold on. I'll actually add one more here for you too. Just so we can stick to the game script as well. You guys, I'm a field goals guy. Fairbarn for the Texans kicker. 2 field goals against a good defense. They can probably get down the field a couple of times here and there. Like I said, probably about 13 points is really my big total for them. I definitely see them getting 2 field goals in this game with a stingy defense like the Chiefs.
Cool, cool. All right, we move on to Saturday night.
Oh yeah.
We have the Washington Commanders
Hmm.
traveling to Detroit inside to face the Lions. Lions are minus 9.5 home favorites. The total for this game is up to 55.5. The highest total for this week, rightfully so. Talk to me about this game, Donnell. I'll let you air it out.
Oh no, this is gonna be a slugfest. That's kind of gonna be the thing. The biggest thing I think here. It's gonna be a slugfest. The biggest thing I think people need to kind of understand is, and I get the fact that this Detroit Lions defense has played great with 24 players on injured reserve, which is absolutely unheard of. But there comes a time to where that's going to catch up to you. Now, I believe that opens up a lot more for the Commanders. The one thing they've struggled with throughout the whole entire, I mean, not throughout the entire season, but recently has been the running game. The running game was non-existent last week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I expect a little bit of an uptick this week, especially with that D line being hurt as it is. I get it. Aaron Glenn, that defense has been very, very stingy defensively, even with the injuries. I understand it. But I really believe Brian Robinson, rushing yards here is a good play, especially with it being down right now. He had a bad week last week, and I expect him to bounce back tremendously. Now, this is also a game where, okay, like this is gonna be prop galore. You can do honestly Jameson Williams touchdown. I honestly believes his speed is just unmatched. We have nobody kind of match that. You're gonna have Lattimore and Amon-Ra St. Brown, which means you're gonna leave the deep ball deep for Jameson Williams. So Jameson Williams touchdown is kind of like my big prop there. And honestly, I'm gonna do another prop, one last prop. Jared Goff, just do under interception. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the Commanders defense can't produce an interception to save their life. They can recover fumbles. They can, I guess, in other ways force turnover on downs, but they cannot get an interception to save their life. Jared Goff under interception is a good play for me as well.
Okay, so I it's it's hard for me to pick a side here because
Yeah,
I kind of see
exactly.
this game going two ways. I think either it's gonna sound crazy, but I'm not playing a side, so I'm just gonna put that out there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I feel like either the Lions cover or the Commanders win. I just I feel like
Ooh.
it's can go two ways. Either this, I mean, the over is at 55.5. Historically, large overs indoors in the playoffs have hit. You've got two defenses that really don't do well stopping a really strong passing offense,
Mm-hmm.
but you've got two offenses that are extremely resilient, two teams that are aggressive on fourth down, so you'll get extra possessions and extended possessions, I should say. But there's a couple props I want to talk to you about.
Yeah,
Number one, Zach Ertz, anytime touchdown plus
of
300.
course. Anytime,
Plus
bro. Yeah,
300 just does
yeah.
not sit
Makes
right
sense.
with me. One of
No.
the strongest targets in the red zone for him besides Terry McLaurin.
Mm-hmm.
That just doesn't make sense.
Right.
Austin Eckler, I like this alt line. Austin Eckler, 40 plus receiving yards.
Ooh, there you go. Now you get,
Plus
yeah. Now you're getting
300.
good. Okay.
Plus
Okay.
300. So
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know last week, Brian, a lot of people are really low on Austin Eckler receiving props because last week, Brian Robinson ran more receiving ran more routes than Austin Eckler. Okay, we have to
Uh,
understand that Austin Eckler's easing his way back into this team from injury.
mm-hmm.
Um, this is an all-out game for the Commanders. This is leave it all on the table. And we're not going to sit here and act like Austin Eckler didn't easily clear several 100-yard receiving games in Los Angeles and high-scoring games. So this is a team where they're going to be going for it a lot. We already saw Brian Robinson really not struggle, but he didn't get going against the
Going
Buccaneers.
the
This is going to be
line.
a team. These are two teams that are going to throw the ball a lot. So I like the alt Eckler receiving. I like the Ertz touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Terry McLaurin receiving yards. I mean, he's obviously been Jaden Daniels' number one guy. Um, his touchdown price is a little pricey, so I'm not going to be touching that. But I do like his yards. And then Jaden Daniels rushing yards. He's cleared it in 4 of his last 6 since basically he got healthy from that rib injury. The Lions, they left the most rushing EPA to quarterbacks of any playoff team during the regular season. So the Lions defense, yeah, they're trying to bring pressure, but there is a lot of paths to run on them. So I like Jaden Daniels rushing yards. I feel like he's going to get loose, and he's the guy. He's going to extend the play. So I expect Dan Quinn to trust him. Now here's on the other side. It's difficult because these Lions props cost money, man. Like
Money, don't they?
these
Don't they?
anytime touchdowns are a joke. I will say I do agree with you. Jared Goff under an interception. Um, you're getting a minus 130 on it. Decent
Yeah.
play. But surprising to most, I think you're getting some value on Jared Goff under 34.5 passing attempts. Um,
Go ahead. Tell them why. I get why. Tell them why though.
it's because one, David Montgomery is back,
Mm-hmm.
and two, we know this is an explosive Lions team. They are not the team that goes down dinking and dunking 5, 6, 7 yards. I mean, they get 20, 30, 40 yards a clip. So, if the Lions are holding the lead, and this kind of goes into my either the Lions cover or the Commanders win theory. If the Lions are covering, they're going to hold the possession and run the ball more. So that means more Gibbs. That means more Montgomery. That means more Craig Reynolds. That means more quick passes and let the guys go. So if the Lions are handling business, they're going to run the ball, especially in a playoff game where you don't want to let the Commanders hang around. On the flip side, if the Commanders are in place to win this game, it's because they are doing so well managing the clock. They're not
Yeah.
going 3 and out. They're not. I mean, a touchdown play here and there, like 1 or 2 play drive, that helps. But realistically, the Commanders don't want to have their defense on the field a lot. They want to keep them off the
Right.
field as much as possible, which
Mm-hmm.
means they're going to have to manage the clock. They're going to have to manage the running game. That's why I expect Jane Daniels to keep the ball in his hands a little bit more. A lot of dink and dunk out of the back. Austin Eckler, 5, 6, 7 yards of reception, and keep these drives alive. So the last thing the Commanders want to do is go 3-and-out because they know there is an explosive offense, as the Commanders are, on the other side of the field. So that's why I just feel like this passing attempts is just inflated, and you're getting a plus number on an under, where this could be a 17-point game in the fourth quarter, and the Lions just run the ball. So that's kind of the reason why I see that, especially on a plus number. I like that. I will say this though, um, don't play for everybody who likes the touchdown parlays. Don't play these Lions running backs. Don't play them. I
You
mean,
know, right?
it's just not worth it. I mean, if you're paying minus 250 or greater for a touchdown, it's not worth it. Especially on David Montgomery. Please stay the hell off. If you're playing a touchdown score parlay, I can give you Gibbs. Do not do Montgomery. We know he's coming back from an injury. I understand he might be the best option at the 1 yard line, but if he goes out there his first carry and gets hurt, like, just save yourself the headache. It's not worth it. I think Dynel can agree with me. David Montgomery could maybe have. There is a world where he could have 7 carries, like,
Yeah.
just
Yeah. Because
because
why would he
he
need?
is coming
Because
back.
yeah,
So
why would he need to? Yeah, and it's going to be, and Gibbs has carried the load for most of the year. I mean, for most of that time anyway. So yes, give Gibbs breaks here and there with David Montgomery, but David Montgomery, honestly to me, shouldn't touch more than 10 carries.
yeah,
Shouldn't touch more than 10.
the only play that should ever be on David Montgomery for this game would maybe be first touchdown score. That's it. So
Ooh,
if you want to play, I know there's a lot of people who love David Montgomery props. If you want to play a David Montgomery prop, leave it at first touchdown score and don't save yourself the headache for even if because they're up by 10, they're just not going to play him. So that's kind of my intel on this. I'm just reading the prop market. Do yourself a favor and don't get suckered into that. Anything else on that game before we move on?
Nah, the biggest thing is, like I said, it's going to be a good game. Lions have definitely struggled with rushing quarterbacks. That fits Jaden Daniels' script. It's going to be a way better game than I think people make it seem. Like you said, bro, it may be a cover for the Lions or honestly a Commanders win, which I hope, because if we see you on the MC Championship game, well, best believe that's going to be a good episode. We need that.
Well, leading us into the game that could lead to the NFC Championship
Yes,
game, we
sir.
have the Los Angeles Rams traveling to Philly. Man, oh man. Um, Looking at this total. Well, first of all, I just want to say this: Eagles are the second leg of the teaser. So the first leg was the Chiefs minus 2.5. You can get the Eagles minus half a point or a pick 'em.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So they're the second leg of the 3 legs. Um, what I will say is there is expected to be some weather, extreme cold temperatures, potential snow. They're talking about like 2 to 6 inches of snow pregame at kickoff.
Oh yeah, I thought
Listen,
about. Oh yeah, that's big time.
realistically, I like the under. I like the under at
Mm-hmm.
42 or better. It's sitting at 40. It's creeping up to 43.5 in a lot of places. I don't know why. This will probably be one that I make my decision at game time for the under. I'm going to probably play half a unit on the under just because if there is weather, it's gonna spike down, and I'll kind of want to get the best of it. But this is another one to play. A live under. If one of these teams go out there and scores a touchdown early, play the live under. This is one is just as good as the Chiefs because we know this Eagles defense really steps up in the second half, as the Chiefs do. And then in the second half, you also see the Eagles offense. They really run the ball down your throat. They nickel and dime you to death in the first half with Saquon. They'll run here, run there, run here, run there, quick passes. But I mean, it's nothing for Jalen Hurts to have 150 passing yards and Saquon 23 carries, Gainwell 7 carries, and they just run it down your throat. Because if there is weather in this game, as you guys saw when we went to SoFi and played the Rams, yes, the Rams' defensive line is probably the strength of their defense, but when they face the Eagles' offensive line, it is a men among children. That offensive line proves to you why they're 1 or 2, 1A, 1B with the Lions for best offensive line in the league. And we have Saquon Barkley back there. It is just it's death by 1,000 cuts. So I like the Eagles up to -7. I like the
Mm-hmm.
total down to 42. It's in at 43.5 right now, so I think you're getting a point and a half of value. I just, I'm sorry, man. Like, I know a lot of people like the Rams in this spot, but I think their big win was last week. And I think we've been saying it on this podcast, we don't trust the Vikings, and I know they had an
Mm-hmm.
incredible season, they
Yep.
overperformed, but last week was the visual that you saw of what
Yeah.
we knew was the
Yeah.
underlying real team of the Vikings. When the big game comes, Sam Darnold blushes away. So, unfortunately, Rams, I think this is where your season ends. I don't think it's a pretty offensive game for you guys. I think the defense gets dominated on the running game. I think the Eagles handle business. Um, yeah, that's what I'm feeling. What do you think?
Yeah. Weather's gonna be bad, and when the weather's gonna be bad from a team traveling from LA to the East Coast to Philadelphia, let alone just playing outside in LA where it's warm, but in a dome. Now you're about to go play in 2 to 3 inches. I mean, what, 3 to 6 inches of snow before the game, cold Sunday night. Like, it's brutal, man. And then you already know Matthew Stafford's mobility is gonna be bad. The mobility is gonna be awful. They're gonna have to rely on Kyron Williams so much to produce offense. And let's be real. Yes, N'Kobe Deaney's out, and man, that's a blow. But I ain't gonna lie to you. There's a beast, number 98, named Jalen Carter over there, bro. That motherfucker's a beast. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. That man is. He is. I mean, Jared. He's probably the next great defensive tackle. Like, he might be one of the best interiors in the game
Yeah.
eventually. Or is he an end? Is he
No,
interior? Or is
he's
he an end?
interior.
Okay, that's what I thought. Cause I know Vangio plays that fourth. I think what 4-3-4 or four
Yep.
three, 4-3, 3-4, 3-4, 3-4. So yeah, he just dominates that interior, man. And it's really funny to see because when we played the Eagles literally about what we last played the Eagles about 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. When I saw the way Jalen Carter completely disrupted the whole first quarter before Jalen Hurts got hurt, I mean that whole first quarter he stymied the middle of the game. He disrupted the whole middle of the offensive line for the Commanders. He's been doing this all season long, and honestly, I think he's the best player to a great defense right now. Zach Baum, All Pro, congratulations. Vic Fangio deserves the credit he deserves because he's put this defense together. And man, there was doubts, tremendous doubts, and he put the doubts to rest very, very quickly. Um, like I said, if I wasn't, and I'm gonna say this, I will admit it, I was a sucker for the Vikings last week, and I don't know why. I was a sucker for the Vikings. I ain't gonna admit that. But I can tell you this right now: the Eagles are not the Vikings. Not by the long shot. I mean, they don't need to rely on the blitz to get pressure. They just disrupt the middle. Like, yeah, I just don't see. This is not a good. This is probably won't be a good game for them, especially with Nakua and then Cup. Like I said, pedestrian game from Cup last week, and I don't know. I just feel like this is just gonna be an explosive. Saquon, go ahead and get 150 to 160 yards. Jalen Hurts, get about 50 to 60, and then you guys run the clock out, you win the game, and it's no contest, to be honest
Yeah,
with you.
I expect the Eagles to really handle business,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I don't. I just want to say, like, I'm trying my best to explain these reasons without showing bias because obviously you guys know that I'm a Philly fan. But there is just something different when you're playing in the playoffs at home in cold weather versus a dome team.
Bro,
And this
hell
isn't
yeah.
and this isn't like Matthew Stafford's an outdoor quarterback. I mean, he had a dome in Detroit and he's got a dome in LA. That Rams team is a lot of finesse. They're not really physical. It's Puka and Cooper Cup on the outside and Higbee going down last week. I mean, that's big. So, I mean, we saw Higbee, he's been a real big safety blanket for Matthew Stafford. If he doesn't go, I mean, that's huge. So, I will say this. If you guys want one, cheeky play, I am taking Hurts anytime touchdown
Hmm.
because I expect there to be more rushing attempts, which means there are probably more opportunities where Saquon gets stopped at the 1 or 2 yard line because it seems like he always does. So I'm taking Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown -115. I'm taking Jalen Hurts 2+ touchdowns, and I'm taking Jalen Hurts 3+ touchdowns.
Yeah.
This is just the weather game that you expect. The boys up front push it in. Boys up front push it in. I mean, it's just going to come to a point where the Eagles are going to run the ball down the Rams through, and there's going to be nothing that they can do about it. So, if you guys want a cool little play, that's probably what I'm going to play because I promise you, it's not out of the realm. It's not unordinary for Jalen Hurts to have 3 rushing touchdowns that all come on touch pushes because it's happened before. So give me the Eagles. Give me the Eagles props, and I don't know. Not really too much like with the Rams. I mean, I can see the
To
Rams
be
laying an egg
honest.
here.
Yeah, and listen. We understand you're an Eagles fan, but best believe I'm a Commanders fan. I'm co-signing this shit. I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. I mean, remember at the beginning of the season, I said the Eagles will make the Super Bowl. I said that from the door. Like like the Eagles are built for success. They're a great team, and like you said, this is just a mismatch. You ever talk to your parents, Jared, or anybody who's listening? You ever talk to your parents and they say their knees hurt and it's raining outside?
My left knee is acting like it must be storming.
Right, right. I'm not trying to give an old thing. I'm not trying to be the whole old thing, whatever. I'm not trying to be, disrespectful, but it's about to be below 20, and you're 36, 37 years old. You're already not mobile. Like
And we've
it's
seen
just bad. It's
Stafford's
bad.
had some rough games over the last few
Yeah.
weeks.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Stafford's starting to show his age a little bit. That's all I'm
I
saying.
mean, we know he handles the blitz well, but
Hmm.
Fangio doesn't fucking blitz. And you know what's funny? Just real quick before we move on to his last game, there was like a reporter was talking to Fangio, and they're like, like how are you gonna adjust? We know that N'Kobe Dean was your green dot, like, it's gonna be passed on. And Fangio starts laughing. He's like, dude, I've got like 3 or 4 play calls. We'll be okay. So that just goes to show you, like, this team is talent and a very simple scheme. They don't
Right.
overcomplicate it, and that's what I like about
Hmm.
Fangio. So, yeah, that'll be funny. But we made it. We made it to Sunday night. We have the Ravens traveling to Buffalo, where Buffalo is the home dog for the first time since 1969.
And this is where we're gonna bump heads. I already know it. I already know it.
So,
Already know it.
okay, two things. Let me get these stats because I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm undecided.
Oh, okay.
But I do have a play. I have a play for the teaser, and I have a play for a total. So just before we dig into this, two stats I wanted to tell you. Lamar Jackson in his career, six
Hmm.
times where his
Hmm.
game has opened as him as an underdog. So the Ravens opened at +2,
Yep.
and he closed as a favorite. This is
Hmm.
looking like that because the Ravens are down to -1.5 at a lot of books. So Lamar opened as an underdog, closed as a favorite. It's happened in his career 6 times. All 6 of those games, he's not only won, but he is also covered. So he has won outright and covered. So when Lamar Jackson opens as an underdog and closes as a favorite, he is 6-0 straight up and against the spread.
Hmm.
Josh Allen in the
Hmm.
playoffs, when he is an underdog, 0-3 straight up, 0-3 against the spread. Two of
Well,
those were from Mahomes. One,
yeah, you're about to say,
do you
yeah.
know what the other one was?
I'm trying to think. Oh, Burrow?
4 years, I think it was 4 years ago. Deshaun
Damn, it
Watson.
has been that way. It was.
Yep, you remember that game?
Damn. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that game. That
Deshaun
was young.
Watson
Yeah,
balling out.
damn. It
Yeah,
makes you realize how much Josh Allen has grown.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
he's grown a
So
lot. Yeah.
yeah, so those two big stats. So and that is why you can see this line change. You can see because let's be honest, all the numbers back the Ravens here. All the numbers
Yeah.
back the Ravens here. Um, but I will tell you what. When I first saw this game, I was on the Bills.
Yeah, I know. Yep. I kind of expected that.
I'm guessing you're on the Ravens.
Yeah, most certainly.
Okay.
You know that. Yeah.
I have excuse me. I have eased off of the Bills significantly. I've played a different angle. My favorite play in this game, the under 51.5. Dude,
There you go.
it's gonna
Okay.
be
There
it's
you go.
gonna
I'll
be
take that.
freezing. I know
Yeah.
everybody's expecting a shootout because all the talk is about the quarterback, but let's be realistic here. These teams don't want to get in a shootout with each other. They don't want to. They do not want to. And the temperature is going to be ridiculously cold, potential snow. So, this is another game. If there is a touchdown off rip, live bet the under. If you can get anything 54 or less, I love it. I'm playing the
Take
50,
that.
I'm playing the 51.5. That's probably one of my favorite bets of the week. But my only other play from this game is the third leg of the teaser. So we had the Chiefs -2.5, the Eagles down to a pick 'em, and the Bills +7.5.
Mhm.
That's the 3-team teaser, plus
Gotcha.
140 on FanDuel. Other than that, I really just want to enjoy this game. So I don't really have too much of a prop market for this. I mean, I can see a lot of props being juicy, but the one thing, if I'm playing a touchdown score, it's going to be Josh Allen because in the competitive games we see he drops his shoulder and gets into the end zone. So any plus money play for Josh Allen touchdown, I think he's like plus 110 right now on FanDuel. Love it.
Mhm.
Other than that, Dino, I will let you take over.
Yeah, like I said, I don't have a lot on this either. Like you said, I just want to enjoy this. Like this is one of those games where you just want to sit back and just enjoy what greatest is about to be presented to you because this is one of these games that are legacy defying, right? These are legacy defying games. Lamar Jackson needs this, and Josh Allen needed. They both kind of need it at this
Bad
moment. So
loser is going
it
to get killed in the media.
and that is so that and that's the thing is that's the unfair about it all because they both need it, and whoever drops behind this, it is going to be
Yeah,
scrutinized. Like
whoever
Josh
loses is
Allen's
going to
going to
get
be
the title of
scrutinized.
can't win a big game.
Josh Allen's going to be scrutinized, and he literally carried the team on his back the entire year. I mean, he did not have not one 1,000 yard receiver. Think about that. He did not have not one 1,000 yard receiver behind there, right? And let me not get too ahead of myself. My prediction is the Ravens win this game. I take the money line. I'll take the spread. And I just remember a game. I remember it was like 3, 4 years ago. I was thinking it was Lamar's very first playoff game, and I think it was against the Tennessee Titans, and he had 2 turnovers, and Derrick Henry ran all over the Ravens. They're going to do the exact same fucking thing. Okay, they're going to use that flashback from 4 years ago and apply it to today. Just give the ball to Derrick Henry, continue to run the ball. Lamar, keep using your legs. That has been the game breaker the last couple of weeks, man. Like, keep using the legs. I expect that. It's going to, honestly, this might be a game on the ground here. This might be the game of the ground. Running between Henry, Jackson, Cook, and Allen. It's going to have all 4 of those together combined will probably have over 300 rushing yards. Honestly, and that's my prediction for it. So I don't have really a bet. I just want to enjoy the game as a whole. I got the Ravens winning this, so if you want to put a bet in there, Ravens money line, and I'm ready to see Marvelous go to another AFC Championship game.
Marvelous.
Yes, sir.
I think if you do want a big plus money play, I think you can get behind this.
Yeah.
James Cook over 99.5 rushing and receiving yards.
Well, there you go. I mean, fits the 300 the 300 rushing yards from everybody
Yep.
else. So hell yeah. And like I said, Josh Allen's definitely going to need it, especially doing the little RPOs and especially doing little pocket passes, screen passes to him. And you already know James Cook has definitely been involved in the passing game throughout the entire
Yeah,
year.
he's
So
the safety blanket for
yeah.
Josh Allen this year. So
Mm-hmm.
James Cook over 99 or I guess 100 plus rushing and receiving yards plus 240. He
Mm-hmm.
had, believe it or not, he had a season high 23 carries last week, and he really didn't even play the fourth quarter.
Wait, hold on a minute. You said plus 240?
Plus 240.
Holy fuck.
It doesn't make sense.
Nah.
It
That makes no sense.
doesn't make
That
sense.
makes none. That makes none.
So
Good play. Good
yeah,
find. Good pull.
yeah, that's the one I like, and yeah, like I said, James Cook put up a season high 23 carries, and he barely played the fourth quarter last week. So that
Yeah.
just goes to show.
The
Yeah.
ground, baby.
So let me just double check, make sure that number's right. James Cook 100 plus. Yeah, plus 240.
That is crazy.
Plus
Yeah.
90 plus 90 plus plus 170. Love that too. James Cook 100 plus plus 240, 110 plus plus 340, 125 plus 600.
Shit,
Yeah.
on DraftKings right now, it's plus 275.
Oh wow. Yeah. So shop
Damn,
around. Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm just using FanDuel for the quick reference, but
But
shop
yeah,
around for stuff,
of
guys. Like
course, right.
that's just a prime example of saving yourself. If you bet $100, you're giving yourself an extra 30 bucks. So, but yeah. So just a quick recap. My 3-team teaser was the Chiefs minus 2.5, Eagles pick'em, Bills plus 7.5. Dino and I kind of came to agreement on a couple of these unders. We like the props and the Commanders in the Detroit game. We both
hmm
expect the Eagles to handle business.
Business, yeah.
It's going to be a fun week. Dino, I will
Oh,
say this. You are the biggest underdog this week. Good luck to you. Like I said, you guys either win or the Lions cover. So hopefully, hopefully you guys can have some Jane Daniels magic for another week, and then it ends
hey,
there. Because if you guys have to play us next week, I think I'd be shitting bricks.
hey, motherfucker, look, I'm gonna tell you this now. If Nick Foles can do it, as an underdog, all those
Oh
them goddamn
no.
games, motherfucker. I know my rookie quarterback can do it. We gonna do it. We gonna
Hey,
do it. I can't wait.
don't disrespect
Can't wait.
King of Philly like that, man. So
Nah, he is the king of Philly. You got that. You got that right. He definitely is.
thanks again for tuning in to the Shred the Spread podcast for our divisional playoff picks. Be sure to follow us on X at Shred the Spread _. Uh, subscribe, follow, rate, comment, whatever you need to do to help us out. We will be back next week for
Mm-hmm.
the championship week for the NFC and the AFC. Donnell, hope to see you there. Any last words before we get out of here?
Same message as always, knuckleheads. Make sure you guys tune into us at Shred the Spread. At Shred the Spread _ on X, and then follow me at Dyneezy. That's at DYMEEZY. Let's get locked in. Like I said, guys, this is excitement. My team's. God, let's be honest. I haven't seen my team in the second round in 20 years. So this is going to be a very, very special moment for me. If you guys want to go ahead and message me, talk about the game, talk your shit. You can definitely talk your shit because I'm going to talk mine back. So it honestly don't matter. But make sure you guys tune into us. Injuries happen last minute. Weather conditions change. So make sure you guys follow us and make sure you get the live updates that you need.
Yeah, if we find any more juicy props or picks, we'll be sure to post that on our X. So like you said, do your due diligence and follow us there. Shop around for your props. Don't be lazy. Make yourself some cash. So if you cash, it tastes even sweeter. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of the STS Podcast. We'll see you next week.
Peace.